Chris, you're muted.
Thank you so much, Jesse. I'm so glad that you told me after that. Good morning, everyone. And now that you've watched me give this, please listen to me give this opening monologue. Good morning and welcome to the guided warm-up day 2 session of the online Kendall Betts Horn Camp experience. Our panelists this morning and every morning are Bernhard Scully, horn soloist, former member of Canadian Brass, artistic director of Kendall Betts Horn Camp, and associate professor of horn at the University of Illinois, and Jesse McCormick, second horn of the Cleveland Orchestra, member of the Factory Seconds Brass Trio, and horn professor at Baldwin Wallace Conservatory. I am your moderator and poor Zoom user, Chris Williams, staff member of Kendall Betts Horn Camp, academist at the Katrian Academy of the Berlin Philharmonic, and former student of Bernard's. This session and all sessions are brought to you as part of the online KBHC experience, our gift to the horn community. Before we begin, in case this is your first time using Zoom webinar, please familiarize yourself with some of the options at the bottom of your screen. We have chat and Q&A. Please post any questions you have in the Q&A. I will monitor the Q&A and answer everything I can. And at the end of this session, Bernhard and Jesse will answer all the rest. These questions can be upvoted by clicking the thumbs up icon located at the bottom or right below each question. And in the chat, you can you'll see that you can comment either to all panelists or all panelists and attendees. If you post a comment to all panelists and attendees, everyone viewing today's session will be able to see what you've written. You may use this function, but please be aware of who will see what you write. Use discretion. With that, I'll hand it off to Bernhard and Jesse.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome, hopefully, back to the second day of guided warm-up session at Kendall Betts Horn Camp. We're really glad to have you all with us. I just want to say before we get started, we had a fantastic day yesterday and lots of really great points, amazing presentations. So we're very thrilled to be up and running on a very good start. Also, I wanted to say that from now on, I'm going to be debuting a piece of bling every day, all right? Horn Camp bling, hopefully. And today, what I have on is a Kendall Betts Horn Camp hat from the very first year that I attended camp in 1999. And I had all of the faculty members sign it. So I've got Barry Tuckwell and David Ohanian, Gene Reif, Jim Thatcher, Milt Phipps, Soichiro Ono, Kendall Betts on here. So yeah, so I'll be debuting something from camp every day, just as my little fun thing to do. So, all right, Bernhard, do you have anything to say before we get started?
No, that's awesome, Jesse. I can't wait to see what you're going to bring out. It's going to bring up all the memories.
That's right.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So day 2, we're going to move a little quicker today through the exercises. We did a lot of explaining yesterday, a little less explained today, a little more content. We should get started with our stretching. Let's stand up. Okay, we're going to start with our twisting. Full twist is this. So we're going to do 10 of them. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now we're going to do our fold over, which is touch your toes. Here we go. 10 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now we do our side bends. So you can put your arm up like this if you want, or leave it down. I'm gonna go on my right side to start. 10 counts on each side. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Feel that stretch. Other side. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. All right, now we're going to do arm rotations. I'm going to start with backwards, and then we're going to go forwards. This is, if you're a swimmer, you know what this is. Basically, this is an arm rotation like this. So we're starting backwards, go 10 backwards and 10 forwards. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now we do our shoulder shrugs. That's just giving all this a nice massage before we start. It's just one of these. We're going to do it backwards, and then we're going to go forwards. So 10 backwards. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now on to breathing.
All right. Always my favorite stretch. I'm never going to get sick of it. Okay, so we're going to continue with the breathing exercises that we did yesterday. Many of you, if you were here yesterday with us, you remember that I explained why we put our hand up to our face as we breathe like this. And the reason is to keep our throat and our mouth very open so that we can get nice, good high quality air very deep and low into our lungs. All right. This is along the lines of what Randy Gardner was talking about in his class yesterday, if you attended, using the paper towel roll. All right. Nice open throat. You notice that he said that you want to have a completely silent breath, right? Because any noise from breathing means that you have restriction somewhere, right? So you want this to be as low pitched as possible, whooshing sound. Nice and deep. All right, so let's try that as a group really quick, just to get used to that breathing. All right, let's do an O breath in. Here we go. Good, let's do one more of those. With the hand up, nice low whooshing. Yeah, I can already feel the tension leaving. Okay, so we're going to do basically the same exercise that we did yesterday, counting at quarter note equals 60. This is going to be 3 counts in, 3 counts out, 4 in, 4 out, 5 in, 5 out, 6 in, 6 out. All right, quarter note equals 60. I'll give you 3 for nothing. Here we go. 1, ready, go. 4 in, 4 out. 5 in, 5 out. 6 in, 6 out. Good. And nice deep breath in and out. Just to keep everything flowing. We're going to add a new exercise today. It's suspension breathing, okay? It's a variation of what we just did. We're going to do 3 in, then we're going to hold for 3 counts, then we're going to do 3 out. While we're holding, I want you to keep the throat open. So that mechanism in the back of the throat, that thing where you can close off your throat, I want you to keep that open at all times. So you're filling your lungs to 100%, you're keeping your throat open and suspending and then exhaling. We're going to do 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s. I'll give you 3 for nothing, and we go as a group. All right? 1, ready, go. 3 out. 4s. 4 out. 5s. 5 out. sixes. And 6 out. Good. Nice deep breath in and out. Okay. Like I said, this is all about bringing good awareness to our capacity and our fullness with air. We're now going to build the second half of the capacity breathing exercises of which we built the first half yesterday. You'll remember that the first half looks like this. Full inhalation to 100%, keeping the throat open. We sipped to 101 and 102%, all right, to get that really full, absolutely the most amount of air you can get, all right? And that looked like this. Okay, that's the first half. The second half that we're developing today, we're learning how to use all of that air all the way out, like squeezing the last bit of toothpaste out of a tube of toothpaste, all right? We want to use every last little sip. So what we do is once we're at our full capacity, we exhale forcefully until you think that you're basically out of air. And then I want you to hiss until you can hiss no more, all right? And it's going to look like this. Okay, so the hissing really gets us to absolute zero, right? That's the goal. And it's gonna feel maybe a little strange, a little uncomfortable if you've never done this before, but trust me, you're going to survive, all right? So let's give this a try. I'm gonna demonstrate the entire exercise one more time so you get an idea, and then we're gonna do 3 of these as a group, okay? It will look like this. All the way out. Okay, are we ready as a group? I promise you're gonna make it. Here we go. Ready? Ready? Inhale. Exhale all the way. Oh, we made it. Okay, good job. Only 2 more. All right, here we go. Really tank up all the way to 102%. All right, here we go. As a group, inhale. Good. Okay, we're past halfway. 2 down, 1 to go. All right. Are we ready? Nice, good quality inhale. Here we go. Inhale. Good. So, like I said, this is all about bringing awareness to our capacity. I think we often operate in the 20-60 range, right? Seeing how much we can expand that into starting with really close to 100% breath and getting really close to 0% in our phrases gives us a much longer line in our music. All right, so we're going to move on now to first notes on the horn.
Thanks so much, Jesse. All right, hope everybody feels all tanked up now. We're going to keep that full capacity breath going for every exercise we do, including the first notes in the horn. So every exercise becomes also a breathing exercise to practice what we just did. Okay, so first notes on the horn, we're just going to start with a free buzz wherever it's easy. If you haven't done this very much, just try it. Basically, just purse your lips together, be relaxed. We're undoing the tension in our body. Kind of that typical watermelon spitting, and just wherever it's easy, wherever it comes out first. Mine usually comes out a little lower. And Jesse's is different. Everybody go ahead and try that. Good. Now let's try it in the mouthpiece. So we're just gonna set the mouthpiece on relaxed lips. I'm using no tongue, by the way. I usually use air attack for this. You can try that if you want. Gets the tongue out of the way at the start. So just blow nice air into the mouthpiece wherever it's easiest to come out. Go ahead and try it. I gotta get closer to the mic. How's that for speaking? Better?
Better.
Okay. Okay, so now we're on the horn. I mentioned the seashell air, just this really relaxed, nice air that we can start with. It's very easy to add effort to playing. You know, it's very easy to make the air string faster. It's difficult to take away effort once you've already given it. So I like to start very relaxed, maybe as relaxed as possible without even a sound. So everybody try just blowing the most relaxed, warm air into the horn you can first, without even a sound. Try that. Feel good? Now we'll do that again, but we'll speed it up just enough to where the sound comes out, and then we're going to listen to it. We're going to listen to the quality of it. We're not going to judge. We're going to be kind to ourselves, and we're just going to keep playing until we really like this sound. So see what comes out. I suggest open horn, something on the open horn. Mine usually starts with an E. So go ahead and try it, everybody. Nice. I can hear the sounds of a gigantic C major chord, which is what it sounds like at horn camp. It's like the most beautiful chord you've ever heard. So now that we've spent time with our sound, and in your own practice, you should really spend as much time as you need making your best sound. This is the time that you want to get that established, because we're going to carry it through the rest of the exercises, just like the breathing. These are really the fundamental components of the horn playing, and we're setting it up as best we can. So take the time you need. And this leads us to ho-do-do.
Great, thanks Bernhard. Okay, so this leads us to our first playing chromatic exercise on the horn, all right, ho-do-do. It is named that because those are the articulations that we're going to use on the three notes throughout this, this phrase, okay? So the first note I want to be not articulated, so just do it with a ho, ho, and the next two are do's, do, do, okay? It's going to sound like this. And then we'll take 4 counts to breathe, and we'll move chromatically up, then to D flat, and to D natural, and so forth. We'll be climbing in half steps until we reach an octave from where we started, C in the staff. We encourage you to try this on the F horn, all right? So we're just thinking right now about good air quality and a nice easy buzz, okay? Let's do this as a group. I'll set the quarter note to 60, and then I'll give you 4-for-0, and we'll start. Okay, ho-do-do, 1, 2, ready? On D flat. D natural. E flat. F natural. F sharp. G natural. A flat. A natural. B flat. B natural. Last one, C in the staff. Excellent. Okay, and that brings us to our song of the day.
Thanks, Jesse. All right, the song of the day today is from Africa. It is called Funga Alafia. Maybe some of you have sang this. My daughter actually recently sang this in the choir, so it's a really great song. And so we're going to sing it, and then we're going to buzz it, and then we're going to play it. Nom. It's a little high for you. You can sing whatever, start on a different note. Possibly I put it on a C just because that's where we ended up on the ho-do-do. So apologies if it's a little bit high, or singing an octave lower. You can sing on la, da, you can solfege it, whatever you want. Or if you know the words, I'm not going to sing the words, but if you know them, feel free to sing the words. But the important thing is to sing it with a lot of conviction and phrase it. So the song basically goes na 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 Funga love ya she Funga love ya she. So I did know the words. I remembered them. So you have to sing the words. So everybody, let's try it. Let's sing it with a lot of conviction. And I encourage you guys to go listen to this song after the warm-up is done to learn it. It's a great, great song. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Na 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 na. Good. Now that we have it in our head, let's play it on the mouthpiece and try to get it exactly the same. Exactly the same musicality, pitch, rhythm, all that good stuff. Okay. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, right. Good. So now we're going to do it in the horn. So I hope you guys can read it. You got a couple of fingerings on the A, but you could almost do the whole thing on the open horn. Not quite. So it's that kind of an exercise too. Ready? 1, a 2, 1, 2, 3. Nice. All All right, and like I said, if you want, you can make up your own songs. You can do some free improvisation right at this point. You can create your own exercise that you can then employ, like the beautiful sounds, in the manner of use this time to engage with music. Okay.
Wow, thanks, Bernhard. Impressive singing. Yeah. Wow. I might grow to like it by the end of this week. I don't know. We'll see. I won't hold you to it.
I'll have to up your pay a little bit to say that more.
Yeah, I expect the check is in the mail. Yeah. Okay, so that brings us into our beautiful sound studies. All right, so we've gotten our air moving, we've done our stretches, we've gotten our buzz going. All right, and we put all those together. So this is a really important part in my day of warming up a beautiful sound. That is one of the, in my mind, the hallmark characteristic of the instrument that we play. It's its amazing sound. So I want you to think, we all have that amazing horn sound concept in our head, right? So I want you to think for a minute about this golden, round, beautiful tone. It's just the most amazing, fulfilling, relaxing thing that you've ever heard, okay? And that's what we're trying to recreate with this exercise. We built the phrase yesterday, so we're going to go a little further into the exercise. We're going to play this in more keys. We're going to establish this in horn pitch of C, all right? Then we're going to do D flat, then we're going to do B natural, then we're going to do D natural and B flat, and so on and so forth. And we're going to end around F in the staff and G below the staff for today, just to get us a little further down the road in our beautiful sound. You can see that the entire 4-measure line is one slur, okay? I want you to think of your air as you play this as a nice big arc as we go through this, okay? If you have to breathe after the top whole note, but if you can, try to use your really good capacity breath that we established earlier to get through the entire phrase, okay? We're going to do this today at quarter note equals 60, and I'll give us 4 for nothing. In the coming days, we're going to do this a little faster because we will know it already, and we have a lot longer to go on this exercise. Okay, so this is quarter note equals 60 with your golden, beautiful tone, all together, 4 for nothing. Starting on C, 1, 2, ready. On D flat, 2, ready. We'll pause for a page turn, just a second. Okay. We're continuing on B natural. All right. Here we go. 1, 2, ready. D natural. B flat. E flat. A natural, below the staff. natural in the staff. A flat below the staff. F in the staff. And last one is on low G. Good. All right. So that's enough of our beautiful sounds for today. Again, as you can see, we're extending into our high range and our low range equally, so that we're introducing ourselves in a stepwise and gentle manner for the day. No ripping up to high Z's in the first 5 minutes of this warm-up. All right, that takes us on to Sirens.
Thanks, Jesse. I just love warming up with your sound. So nice. Okay, so now we're going to go back to our mouthpiece. Now, these mouthpiece sirens, I put them here in the warm-up because I know for many of you they might be new. For those of you that have done these a bit more, sometimes they're put near the beginning. So you can choose with any of the exercises to put them where you want, where it makes the most sense for you. In the middle, I think, is a fair place to put them at this point. So again, we're going to go very slowly up with the siren, trying to get all the notes in between. And now we're going to add a little bit of range today. We're going to add a low, fourth down, and then we're going to go through the entire range we've covered. So get the first note, and it sounds something like this. Everybody try it. Good. Now we're doing the same thing on the G just below the staff. If it's too low for you, just play where you can. The important thing with the mouthpiece, just like the horn, do what you can and continue to try to push yourself in the in building your range, because over time you'll get it. The one thing I've learned on the horn is that everything we do is a learned behavior. In other words, if you want to get a good high range, well, you just have to train yourself. Low range, the same thing. So just give it a shot. It won't happen unless you actually try it. Bomb is the first note we start on here. All right, everybody, same thing on the G. I think my mic's too hot. How's that? Better? Okay. Sorry. Okay, now we're going to go the whole range. Okay, but slowly. And take note of any sort of breaks you feel and just push past them. Ready? Good. We'll continue to expand that every day. That leads us to our harmonic series. So today we're expanding up by a major third in the upper, and we're actually going to go down to the low C if you want. You can try it. We've already gone down to the low G. The pedal note might come out, might not. I thought we'd at least give it a try. So set the metronome at 60. Let's see. And again, try to release your face on this. Just let yourself bump the notes into place with the air. Focusing on sound. Don't worry if it's a little bit bumpy or a little bit messy. The idea is air first, right? And relax. You don't want to use too much face in the process. I think for sake of time, let's just all do it together. I think we know from yesterday what this is. Let's do the quarter notes, everybody. All in the open horn. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. So just try it. If you can't get the low note, don't worry. Just go for it. It'll happen over time. Okay, so now let's do an eighth notes full rendition. Everybody, got the, you see it? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Good. Just let the air work for you. Fingering 2. 1, 2, big breath. One, 2, right. One and 2, 2. Two and 3, 2. One and 3, 2. One, 2, and 3, 2. Good, that's low, but it's good for you. Okay, so now we're going to add a little bit of speed to this. We're going to go on triplets. So it's the same range. I'll do one iteration so you guys can see what it is. 2. Like that. Just make sure the air is moving. Big break. Big breath, okay? You got this. You can do it. Don't worry if it's not too clean right now. Just go for it. Here we go. 1, 2, all right. Fingering 2, 2. Fingering 1, 2. One, 2, 2. Page turn. Okay, 2 and 3. 1, 2. 1 and 3, 2. Okay. 1, 2, and 3, 2. So get ready for some more expansion with that one.
Great. Thanks, Bernard. Okay, so that leads us into our chromatic articulated scales, all right? So yesterday we did quarter notes just to introduce ourselves, and I think I gave you fair warning that you should be working on your F horn and your B flat fingerings for this week because yesterday was as easy it's gonna get. So today we're going to do these scales in eighth notes and in triplets, both on the F horn only and then on the B flat horn only. So already we are taking a pretty big step in difficulty, okay? So I'm gonna set the quarter note equals 60, and it's gonna sound like this. Feel free to use whatever articulation is comfortable for you. Ta, tu, da, do, any of those is fine. Something that's just nice and easy and makes sense for you, okay? About like that, all the way up and all the way down. F horn first, and then B flat horn, and then we'll do triplets, okay? Quarter note equals 60, 4 for nothing, as a group. Here we go. 1, 2, ready. Good. On the B flat horn only, here we go. Eighth notes, 4 for nothing. 1, 2, ready. Okay, moving right along into triplets, okay? It's going to sound about like this. That's our tempo, okay? All in the F horn, articulated, 4 for nothing. 1, 2, ready. Whew, okay. B flat horn only. Here we go. Triplets, 4 for nothing. 1, 2, ready. Very good. Okay, that was an internet flaw. That was not me at all.
I just got a massive electrical surge, so I didn't see what happened. So.
What's that?
I had a massive electrical surge, so you got cut out for a while.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Just, love the internet, right? Okay, great. So, like I said, those are going to continue to get more difficult throughout the week. We're going to add octaves, and we're going to eventually get to 16th notes. So, practice your fingerings on both sides of the horn. That leads us into our regular scales.
Yep, and guys, make sure you learn your lower fingerings for those chromatics. It's coming up. Okay, so today we're going to do our scales once again in eighth notes, articulated as you wish, and we're going to combine the arpeggio with the scale. So there's no break anymore. We're just going to go right into it, and then we're going in a circle of fourths. So it's C, F, B flat, and so on. Kind of the opposite of yesterday. So the scales sound something like this. I'll put the metronome on. Like that. Turn my gain down here. Okay, everybody got it? 1, 2, ready? Now F, 2, ready? One second here. All right, now B flat. Here, 1, 2, ready?
I'm sorry, what's that?
I saw a comment about freezing. Am I frozen?
You didn't freeze for me.
Okay. Okay. Maybe someone else's screen.
Yep.
On. Page turn. All right. A flat. 1, 2. Ready? Now D flat. 2. Ready? Now F sharp. 2. Ready? Now B. 2. Ready? Now E. 2, 3. Now A. 2. Ready? Almost done. Now D. 2. Ready? Now G. 2. Ready? And lastly, low C. 2. Ready? And that's it. But be prepared. Scales are getting harder tomorrow.
Great.
Okay, and I
Thanks,
think
Bernard.
we're not going to do our pedals. You guys can do the pedals if you want. And by the way, the pedals, if you guys want to do them, they sound like this. And they keep on going down. So it's just a way to kind of relax the face if you guys feel you want to do that. I'm not going to spend time doing it, but we do have some time for questions today.
Yeah, fantastic. So I saved a couple of questions from yesterday, so we can answer them today. The one question we didn't get to yesterday was from Peterson Normal. They asked, is there a difference starting beautiful sounds from the bottom of the range and working up? I believe is it the breathing gym? They usually start kind of in the middle and then work down. So what are the differences?
Well, for me, I think I mentioned this yesterday and today. I like to start in the middle because I like to build my ranges equally as I go. So I like to build high range and low range as I go throughout the exercise. But that's just the way that it's most valuable to me. I think I also mentioned yesterday that this warm up is one warm up of millions of variations of warm ups that one can do. So it's a highly personal thing. What works for one person may not work the best for the other person. So if starting at the bottom and working up chromatically all the way up to the extreme high range works best for you, I would say do it. For these 2 days, we've been starting at C below the staff. It might be tomorrow, I think we're going to move. We're going to start at G below the staff, a little lower, just because the way that the ranges end up when we get into our extremes, it makes more sense to start at G. But yeah, absolutely. If you want to start low and go high, or start mid-range and go low, totally experiment with that and see if that's comfortable for you.
Thank you. Let's see, what else here? We have,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna add one thing to that, sorry, because yeah, I totally agree. And one thing, like we start the first notes of the day in the mid-range, and one of the reasons I start there is because I can make my best sound, like the most resonant sound, that I want the rest of the range to sound like. Sometimes if I start really low, that sound that I start with is not the best sound I can make. And so for me, it's all about like the creation of my most beautiful sound and carrying it. I think that's why the beautiful sounds, like Jesse was saying, is constructed like that. So.
Cool, thank you. We had another question here from Corey Suarez. They are asking, or saying they usually play their first notes of the day in the afternoon. Do you recommend playing a warm-up routine in the morning? And just to wrap that in, the username is Paul Shepard. I believe that they go by Josh. Does the time of day have to do with the way you play? Just kind of those two questions, kind of one there.
Want to try this?
I would say, you know, there are times where I've had really early morning gigs, so I have to do my warm up at 5:30 or 6 in the morning. It's not ideal, but it happens. And at that point, actually, the earlier in the day, I find that it's more important just to get everything loosened up and everything flowing and trying to get to that ideal sound that I want to have in my day. But if I haven't played a note until 5:30 at night, I'm still going to do the same routine for me personally, because again, I think I mentioned it yesterday, these warm-ups are not only about warming up on the horn, but they're also about establishing a good base level of fundamentals. So we may have some of those among us who think that these are a little bit easy, but you know, even advanced players can get a lot of benefit out of very simple exercises, all right? Because if we're not establishing a good base layer of good breathing, good buzzing, and good tone, then we're probably not going to get it for the rest of our day. So it's about reinforcing good habits. I think that is the important thing to me. Bernhard, do you have to add to that?
Yeah, I totally agree. And you know, if I had the luxury of not having to play or not having anything during the day, which has been a lot of the last 3 months, honestly, I might choose to start playing. My ideal time to start playing is like around 11 in the morning. You know, that's when my body begins to kind of adjust to the day. It's not natural for me to get up at 5 in the morning and practice. I never even felt that way in school, even though I would do it in school sometimes just because that might be the only time I get a chance to practice, you know, before my classes when I was in university, or like whatever I was doing, or when I was traveling a lot. Sometimes the only time I could play was like buzzing either 5 in the morning before the playing or the 30 minutes we had before the concert, you know. So really you should kind of prepare yourself in some ways to be able to produce your best level of playing at any time during the day, even though we might feel personally that we have preferences in that. You know, as musicians, we're oftentimes called to do things, as Jesse was saying, that we would rather not do a gig at 7 in the morning, you know. But if that's the gig, you know, or if it's at, you know, one time I had a gig in Spain that started at 12 at night. You know, it was kind of cool, but not normal, and you had to be ready for that. So being able to produce your best sound, you know, get your breathing going, get all these things. And what Jesse said was so true, is that what we're really offering you now is not just a warm-up. That's really not, we should really reclassify it actually. It's actually what I would call a warm-up, maintenance, and building routine. Because what we're doing is we're warming up, which might take just, maybe you warmed up after the song of the day. You know, that's kind of how I felt today. But then there's this whole idea of maintaining your current level of skill, like doing all the things that cover the bases of what you can do. Then there's the part that builds on those things. That is, you know, the stretching part that we're doing for you over the course of this one. Essentially what we're doing for you this week is we're showing you how you can build upon a routine in a progressive way. So that's kind of what we're offering, and that's what I think everybody should think about having in their practice, because I think it becomes probably maybe the most important part of the practice in the day, because it's where you really, you know, where you really build your skills.
Thanks, guys. Just a quick question before we dive into more. Do either of you have experience with vocal cord dysfunction or vocal cord issues when playing? So we have a couple of questions about that, but if you don't feel, there's one, Emily Kirkland says they have a vocal cord dysfunction, and with the breathing exercises, at the beginning be helpful for that. And also Heather Hastings had a question about tension and sympathetic vibrations in her vocal cords when she's playing in the higher registers. I wasn't sure if you guys had any tips for those.
Jesse, do you know about that?
I personally don't have direct experience with that. But I have worked with students who hold a lot of tension in their upper chest and their throat and their neck and the back of the throat, things like that. So if it's along those lines, I would say that trying to do these breathing exercises, especially when we have the hand up like this, you notice that nice deep, it even makes me speak more deeply, all right? So it's because everything is opening. You want this to feel very grounded, okay? Everything is just, all right? I think of myself like a tree, and the roots of the tree are just going down and spreading out into the ground and feeling nice and grounded. All right, that's, I've helped some students who have tension when they play in that area, and found it helpful. Hopefully that would be along the same lines with the issue that you're experiencing.
I'm not so familiar with it, but what Jesse said, I think that makes a lot of sense. So,
Chris, you're muted.
Sorry, I was answering a different question. Let's see, we had another question here. We have probably time for just one more. Let's see, Elizabeth is asking about full capacity breathing. They asked the question, do you find you build a habit to have too much tension when you breathe when doing these exercises? Perhaps you can give them some tips on relieving tension while breathing.
Yeah, you want to go ahead? I was just going to say, you know, what we're doing at the start of this is we're establishing what it feels like to take in as much air as we can. Now, I think we tried to make the point yesterday, and maybe we didn't make the point so much today, that when you feel tension in the body, that's kind of the first sign of, you know, paying attention. And sometimes the breathing it might cause a little bit of tension. So you want to do the breathing exercises to learn what you're capable of doing without causing tension. In other words, if you breathe, right here, I'm feeling pretty good, I'm full, but if I start going, you know, start doing more, then I add all this tension. So probably in my general playing, I don't want to go to that level, you know, so you want to kind of gauge yourself as you're practicing to see how much you can take in without causing that tension, because you really don't want tension in your body or in your playing. I mean, no more than you have to play. So that's kind of my take on it.
Yeah, I would say as you do breathing exercises, bring awareness to where you have tension and see if you can let that part of your body go. A common area that people have tension is in their shoulders. When they breathe in, they go like that, okay, and they pull their shoulders up, and it feels really uncomfortable, okay? So if you let your shoulders drop, okay, and just feel really loose, okay, and then you think of your lungs as a balloon. I think I said this yesterday, but not today. Think of your lungs as a balloon, okay? They're gonna expand on all sides, all right? On the sides, in the back, on the bottom, on the top, all right? And so your shoulders are gonna come up as an effect of that balloon filling. If you feel tension, try to breathe it out with the breath. And there goes my tension, okay? It really helps, especially when you're nervous. So I know we're out of time, so we need to wrap up there, but we'll answer more questions tomorrow and look forward to you joining us then.
Yeah, so for everyone who asked a question, I've saved all of them, so we'll get back to them tomorrow as we have more time. But for now, it's time to say goodbye. Thank you so much for attending this session of the online Kendall Betts Horn Camp experience. I've shared my screen here. We have a rundown of the upcoming events for today in about a half hour at 11:30 Eastern. Dr. Lynn Baird will be giving a masterclass titled simply Masterclass. A little bit later this afternoon at 2 p.m., James Nagus, lecturer of horn at the University of Georgia, will give a presentation called Modes and Things. A little bit, 2 hours after that at 4 Eastern Daylight Time, Sadie Glass, faculty member at the University of the Pacific Conservatory of Music in California, will give her session called Infusing Hand Horn into Your Modern Routine. So we could start using hand horn this morning. At 6 p.m., will be the first of our 2 staff chats where staff members of the Kendall Betts Horn Camp will chat with each other about their life at camp, various other things. And finally, this evening at 8:30, we'll have a very special session titled Horn Makers, featuring Aaron Beck, a repairman and fabricator of horns and horn parts, and John Goff, I believe it's Goff, an up-and-coming new horn builder, will feature their studios, or I believe, and some various other things. It'll be a great presentation. In the meantime, you can subscribe to our YouTube page by searching for the Kendall Betts Horn Camp. You can also find us on Facebook. And we encourage you to post on social media using the hashtag KBHC2020. Thank you all so much for joining us, and have a fabulous day. We'll see you all later.